Does site structure really matter in site rankings? Um, so
Yeah,
yes and no, because there's like you can do it like different ways, right? Like
fair. Yeah, true.
there's not necessarily like a correct way. The way me and Nick, I think Nick does the same way I do. The way I like to do it is we like to make virtual silos, which is where we don't actually have a site structure that's like Sir Links a lot slash uh, on page SEO slash how to write title tags. You know, like we don't do like that. It'll literally just be sirlinksalot.co slash article title, right? And then the way you do your site structure, your quote site structure would be just your interlinking. You know, you're just linking to other stuff that's relevant. So it kind of creates its own little cluster or silo without having an actual structure with like permalinks or yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, I mean, it does matter in that you do want to pay attention to this stuff somehow, but you don't, but there's no like correct answer. Um, but I guess there are examples of incorrect answers. Like if you do something very badly, right? Like if you do an actual site structure and it just doesn't make sense, or it's like repeating itself a lot, or it's like super long with all those like slashes all over the place, or if you're doing a virtual silo and you're not really, you're linking to just like a bunch of random stuff, not really doing any kind of like clustering or trying to link to the most relevant stuff. Um, but in general, I would also kind of contradict myself and say that I think if you're just like trying to interlink naturally as what like someone might want to see as they're reading your article, then you should probably be fine. What are you gonna say, Nick?
Yeah. Oh, I feel like I just spaced out. Basically your site structure is just going to have to do with crawlability, like what you're giving these bots access to as far as crawlability, how easy it is to go through your site, etc. Um, so yeah, like Chris and I aren't, you know, like when I build out a silo structure, I'm not going to be specifically interlinking just within that silo, right? I'm going to be going all over the place and just adding crawlability to the entire site wherever it's relevant. Versus some people do it the opposite way, where they keep everything internal as far as that silo structure and they're only interlinking in there. But I've seen both of them work. Um, but the main thing to consider is, are you adding crawlability to somewhere that is relevant or that it makes sense to add crawlability to? Yeah, and inside of a healthy site would be one that's easily crawlable, that's not like hiding information, orphaned pages, things like that.
Yeah. To be super like honest, like I don't really focus on site structure much at all. I just like, here's the article, link to the most like relevant stuff possible. In a way that also makes sense. Like, is someone actually going to want to like click through this? Like, would they actually be reading this? Like, oh, I want more information on that and click through. And if you're just doing
Yeah,
that, like you're gonna be fine, right?
you're fine.
Like you don't need to, and I feel like maybe like in the past this kind of stuff was more important, but the way like Google is moving now is like, you're providing like a good like user experience, right? And if you just try to be less of an SEO and more of a human, I think you're going to do like very well moving forward. That's probably going to be like my SEO mantra moving forward is like do things like a human. Like don't do things like a robot so much anymore. Like less automated, less trying to game it, and just like think about the reader a lot more, and you'll end up doing just fine. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the links below for more info on this topic, as well as other cool stuff like SEO case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks, and happy ranking.